Good morning. Oh, the music gets me going every single time. I hope you're all well. Welcome to Packers Daily here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It's time, baby. It's time. The NFL is ready. 3 weeks away from the NFL draft, and the Cheesehead TV draft guide has dropped. That's right. It is live on the site. Anybody who's pre-ordered it, if you haven't got it yet, go to cheeseheadtv.com. Download your copy. If you haven't purchased it yet, what are you waiting for? It is absolutely amazing content from cover to cover. The people who work on this thing, I do very, 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 very little. But Al at our website heads up the effort every year, and it is just phenomenal. The breakdowns, the artwork, everything about it is just outstanding. I cannot thank the people enough who work on it. I know it's a real labor of love for everyone who does all the writing and breakdowns, etc. And man, the response has been great. Like I said, it went live last night and got a ton of tweets, got a ton of emails. Greatly appreciate everyone who's taken the time to download a copy and support all the guys and gals who put the draft guide together. But anyway, if you haven't jumped on board yet, now is the time. There are 3 weeks left until the NFL draft. Perfect time to dive into all that is the NFL draft and the prospects. And look, the best part about it, I keep telling everybody this, is you can find tons of draft guides out there that try to cater to all 32 teams. This draft guide caters to your team. It is very laser focused on the Green Bay Packers. We don't care who the Vikings are going to take. We don't give a shit about what the Los Angeles Chargers are going to do in the draft. We care about the Green Bay Packers. It's pretty simple. Hello to everybody in the comments section. Hope you're all doing well. Love that shirt, Negler. Yeah, it's available in the store. Go to cheeseheadtv.com, press store, and scroll down. You'll find it. Is there a draft pick that doesn't result in fans freaking out? Seems like Packers are always losers no matter what they pick. Blake, that's a really good question. Yeah, if the Packers fill predetermined needs from the draft industrial complex, then the talking heads will go on television and say, oh, they had a great draft. But as long as the Packers keep operating the way they operate, not the way the people on the outside world think they should operate, then yeah, the talking heads are going to go on TV and go, well, they had a terrible draft. And then the lemmings, the dullards who follow what those talking heads say, will then turn around and enter into their Twitter accounts, oh, the Packers had a bad draft. This talking head A said so. You know, you're all way smarter than that. You know how I know? Number one, because you're on Cheesehead TV. Number two, because you have a brain. And you know the Packers operate a lot differently than most teams. So it's inevitable. You're right. Whoever they pick, Packer fans are going to be upset. The media is going to give them hell. It's why you can ignore all that shit. That's it. Once you do that, once you free yourself, free your mind, the rest will follow. Then you're cooking with gas. Old Timer Dave, what's up, man? Good to see you. Tuning in from South Africa, Dan. Good morning from New York City. I hope things are well on your side of the world. Hope you're staying safe, man. Olive not getting a dog. TKM, this is true. My girls went to City Pups yesterday. It's right by Union Square, and oh my God, they were pouring it on thick. At City Pups, they allow you to go in these little kind of areas where you can play with a puppy one at a time. And they were pouring it on, sending me videos, sending me pictures. Oh, isn't he cute? Oh, wouldn't you like to have him around the house? Blah, blah, blah. Not going to happen, girls. I see you. It's not going to happen. You can't trust the dick. That's right, Blake. Draft industrial complex. Brett, morning. How are you? Is there a long snapper page in the draft guide? I need a review of Carmen Cheeseman. There is, I believe, a specialist section, and there is indeed a punter section just for Corey Behnke. Ooh, oh, Jake. Oh, damn. See, we're at that part of the offseason where I can entertain questions like this because what the fuck else are we going to talk about? There ain't no news happening. We still got 3 weeks till the draft. So I will answer the question, the Bens or in rainbows? Oh, asking to choose between my kids. I'm probably going to go with the Bens, though. It means more to me personally. Came along at a point in my life where it like really kind of opened things up. in a really great way. I love both of those albums, and they both mark very special moments in my life. But the Bends will always have will always be one of my favorite albums of all time. This is so unfair. Olive needs her dog. All right. Well, we found Olive's burner account here on YouTube. That's good. Packer pick at 29 as QB. Packer fans go crazy. The 1 year where I can confidently say they won't pick a quarterback in the first round. I couldn't say that last year. I can say it this year. Trade up, trade down, or staying put at 29. That's the $1 million question, right? If history is any guide, then we look at Gutekunst. He has traded up all 3 years he's been in charge, but the past is not always prologue. So my suspicion, given how the depth at certain positions aligns with how I think the draft will play out, and of course that's just guesswork, I suspect they'll stick at 29 and make the pick. But we'll see. We'll all wait around that Thursday night. They'll get on the clock, and then they'll trade back, and we won't have a new selection until like Friday. With our luck, that's how it's going to roll. TKM, thanks for the super chat. When Nags goes on vacation, who is the ideal guest host besides me? Pappy Fund. That's a great question. I throw it open to the comment section. Walter, I saw your retweet about the Titans. Big props to them and their efforts. Walter, 1,000,000,000%. They have been, in general, the last few years at the forefront when it comes to being autism friendly. For those of you who didn't see it, the Titans have added, they are now only the 4th team to have a sensory room for people on the spectrum. It's where they can go and enjoy the game and basically have, not as much sensory input around them. It is something, I know the Vikings, I think, were the first team. And I said it at the time, it's probably the only time I'm ever going to give the Vikings props, but mad props to the Vikings for leading the way. I hope Green Bay does follow suit at some point at Lambeau. The Accidental Hero, thanks to the super chat. Rockwood Lodge saves team, no investigation. Lambeau run out of town. Just a coincidence? Like 12 Hail Mary in Detroit was a coincidence. Thoughts? There's so much going on there. That's amazing. I don't know, but I think I found the pilot for the new X-Files themed show I'm going to be writing. That's pretty good. I like it a lot. Is it ridiculous for a 44-year-old to be geeked out about the draft even though it's 3 weeks away? Of course not. Man, dig what you dig. Who cares if someone thinks you're too old for that? All that, man. Like Luis Guzman says in Boogie Nights, wear what you dig. Just dig what you dig, man. Who cares what anybody else thinks? If you get geeked up because the draft is coming up, lean into it, man. Don't apologize for it. Be you. Fuck the haters. Okay, computer idiot. What? I love it. Tell us how to make super chat pledges. David, you have to be on YouTube. You're on Facebook. Go to the YouTube channel, and there's a little button with a little money on it. You link it to your Google account, and you do a super chat. Get with the times, old man. I'm kidding. But yeah, it's on YouTube. You have to go to YouTube. Nags, am I crazy, or could they put out a photo of Mark Murphy on the cover of the next issue of Mad Magazine and nobody could tell the difference between him and Alfred E. Newman? Mark, you are not the first person to make that comparison. It also really sends up a big red flag about how old you are, that you know what Mad Magazine is and Alfred E. Newman. I mean, I am old as well, but just so you know, that's a reference lost on probably 80% of this audience. There we go. Drew Pessman, thanks for the super chat. Would you say a stud inside linebacker or defensive line addition improved the team more? I would definitely say defensive line. You always want to be able to control things up front. You always want disruption up front. We all love and marvel and yearn for a game changer at inside backer. We have for feels like 20 years. But I'm always going to choose disruption up front and controlling the line of scrimmage. Look, the Rams, where Barry is coming from, they had the number 1 defense in the league. Obviously, they had Aaron Donald, so that helps. But they also had a ton of talent across the defensive line, and they had very little talent at inside backer or backer in general. You just disrupt up front, baby. That's what I'm all about. I'm always going to choose defensive line. That's why I'm like, get Kenny some help. So yeah, I'm always going to choose disruption up front, control the line of scrimmage. Brambo09, thanks for the super chat. Is it wrong to say I started this Pappy Fund? I wonder how it tastes. I started this, Pappy. Was that you? Well, congratulations. It is well on its way to someday actually becoming a real thing, I guess. I don't know. But thank you. You're welcome, David. Joey, I have no clue what you were talking about. Of course, I know. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Nags, in the movie Departed, how did Wahlberg know to kill Damon at the end? Robin, why are you up here trying to throw out spoilers? Come on now. Why are you doing that? If anybody hasn't seen Departed, do it. It's a good movie. Preston, thanks for the super chat. Are we facing strong repercussions for pushing the cap into the future, or will the inevitable cap increase kind of balance everything out? Here's the trick, Preston. Here's where the rubber's going to meet the road, and we're going to see what kind of wizard Russ Ball really is. Because there will be some repercussions next year. They are undoubtedly looking to 2023 when the cap will go up significantly because of the new money from the TV deals, the broadcast rights, stuff with Amazon, etc. That all hits in 2023. However, they've done so much to push money into 2022. The cap will go up a little bit next year, but nowhere near enough to fix all the problems that they've put into that basket. So that's why I keep saying it feels very much like Gutekunst saying, okay, I'm keeping the band together for one more year to make this push and try and win with this core group. But if it don't work this year, there's a good chance. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to blow it up, but I don't see how they don't do some significant surgery on the roster given the, like you say, strong repercussions that are coming in 2022. And I have no idea if that's in the form of cutting guys, if restructuring, extending, what have you. But the moves they made this year, that is going to look like child's play compared to the work that Russ Ball is going to have to do in 2022 to be cap compliant. Now, there's a long way to go. We don't know what the cap is actually going to be, how would think it would jump back to at least where it was levels where we had it prior to the pandemic. But man, yeah, 2022 is going to be a real test for Ball, for the Packers, etc. 2023 is where there will be a lot of relief. The cap should jump significantly. I mean, very significantly. But next year, it's crunch time. No question about it. Uncultured Barbarian, thanks for the super chat. If you made first contact with an alien species, which is the first song you'd play for them? Mine is LaGrange by ZZ Top. I don't know why that's so funny, but that's great. Even though it's about a house of ill repute, it's a solid jam. Pappies. Hey, man, you got no argument from me for ZZ Top. It's just so funny. Like, here's a representation of our species. Listen to ZZ Top. I don't know, man. That's great. What would I play? I don't know. Probably Subterranean Homesick Alien. Just tell me, we see you watching us, man. What else we go? Like the video, beautiful people. Thank you, Robin. Doing the Lord's work right there. How was Alec Baldwin cast as one of the few not bad guys in The Departed? Matt, it's a mystery that will remain forever unsolved, unfortunately. Accidental Hero, thanks for the super chat. I'd play the alien How Soon Is Now. That's a fine choice, sir. A very fine choice. Oh, look, Insanity is not insane. Did not get enough yesterday, so he's back for more. Dude, you're wrong. No one gives a shit. That's the best part. Andy, Nags, yesterday's show, Super Bowl or bust. Do you think that's how the front office views Matt LaFleur in his third year? In other words, would a third NFC Championship game be success or failure to them, not fans purely to them? Andy, there's so many things buried in that question that it's impossible to know. It's such a it's so dependent on how they get there, what happens, what are the injury situations, how are they playing? Are they limping into the playoffs? Are they ascending? Are they weighing waste to teams? Are they barely beating guys by field goals at the last minute? Has the ball bounced their way a couple times? And just there's so many different ways they could be going into that game. It's impossible to say. Now, with that caveat out of the way, if they go to the NFC Championship game and lose again, there will be significant changes. And it just so happens that it sets up, as we were just talking about, that 2022, there will have to be significant changes, regardless, because of the salary cap issues. So it's very much a last hurrah for this core group, however you want to slice it. I know we need D-line, but I really like Javon Collins. Michael, there's no question, man. There's no question we need D-line, but I get being enamored with other positions. No shame in that game. Absolutely not. True Grit 1 or 2. Yes, Gary. Yes. Aliens don't want to work and bang on the drum all day. Everyone knows that. That's a fair point. Folk 34. That is a fair point. LaFleur might be the most successful Packers coach as he has been the coach 2 years and he has dominated. I mean, he's had a great start, but he's also handed Aaron Rodgers. Let's not forget that. And I understand Aaron Rodgers was not playing at the highest of levels when LaFleur came on board. His scheme has certainly helped Rodgers regain some of that form, has reshaped his game. But having Aaron Rodgers sure does help. And it does paper over a whole hell of a lot. I'm not saying that Matt hasn't done a great job, because he has. But he had a significant advantage having Rodgers as his quarterback. You cannot dismiss that fact. But like I said, I love the job he's done. I love that they have a young quarterback that they're developing, along with having a 3-time MVP trying to win a Super Bowl. Run those two tracks together. Never know how it's going to play out. We don't know when the transition will be. I'm fascinated to watch it play out. But that's where I think we'll really see kind of the team kind of turn into Matt LaFleur's team, is when that transition happens. When that's going to be, I have no idea. But right now, it's still very much Aaron Rodgers' team. We all know that. So long as significant changes doesn't include trading 12. It could. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it's going to. In fact, I suspect it won't. But doesn't mean it's impossible, because it ain't. Andrew, thanks for the super chat. Rick roll the aliens. I like that. LaFleur hiring these coaches is going to be the real test. Walter, that's a good point. I think the Barry hire is a really kind of watershed moment, as far as, okay, you've got your guy, no more fucking excuses, because I think he's done a pretty damn good job as far as his staff from the moment he came on board. Pettine was the one guy who, he was it was strongly suggested he keep, and they made it work. But yeah, I think for the most part, all the other guys he's brought in or decided to keep around, they've been excellent hires. I think it was Montgomery and Searmans are the two that are still left over from McCarthy's staff. And outside of that, have been guys that Matt has hired. And I think so far that's proven right. I mean, Stenavich has been the real home run hire. That was a guy that I was I had no idea about. I was very, suspicious, and it has proved to be a ace of a hire. No doubt about it. Richard, trading 12 is bullshit. Thank you for your incisive analysis, Richard. That's greatly appreciated. Can Gary ascend to our best defensive player? He's only like 23, right? I don't know. Yeah, he's around that age, but yes. Can he? 1 trillion % yes. And I suspect he will this year. He has still not reached his ceiling, not even close. Yes, there is plenty of untapped potential in that young man, and I suspect we will see it throughout this season. William, thank you for the super chat. I think Goot will give Barry some new fun pieces to play with the defense. William, when doesn't the defensive coordinator get fun pieces in the draft? Feels like it happens every year. I mean, last year, notwithstanding, I understand they went offense early, but they did get Kamal Martin late. But that's been the story of the Packers for the last decade. We'll just keep throwing draft picks at it. It hasn't mattered for the most part. But I hear you. I feel it. I'm not bitter or anything. No, I'm good. Uncultured, thanks for the super chat. I'm definitely not playing the aliens any disco. Luckily, Earth, Wind, and Fire is not disco. Pappies. Not so sure I agree with your police work there. I love disco, man. Ain't nothing wrong with disco. Disco's great. It's got a pathos to it. If you actually listen to it, it's good. There's a melancholy. There's a driving kind of beat. I love it. Nothing wrong with that. I'll be shitting on disco. Not up in here. McGinn on transplants just to see Banky's head explode. Let's do it. Mike, what's funny is before Bob and I had our falling out, I asked him on several times, and he was always very gracious, but he was always declining and saying, he didn't have the time or whatever, which I get. But yeah, that'll never happen now. Let me see. Same question, but with Savage. As far as becoming the best defensive player, I mean, is it possible? Yes. I don't see him becoming greater than Gary. But hey, it's a great problem to have, right? Which one is going to become greater? I'm in on that. Let the race be on. Let's go. Oh. Would replacing our starting boundary or slot corner help the D more? That's a good question, Joe. Be on the lookout for my draft crush video, which is coming out in a couple days, because I talk about that very thing because one of my crushes is involved. But I tend to think they got to find somebody who can dominate in the slot, that nickel/star role. I think they can get by at the boundary opposite Jaire. They've done it that. They did it last year, and they got to the NFC Championship game with Kevin over there, and maybe that's what they do again. But I think they got to find somebody stronger who can work inside, and that's where I think the draft comes in. But we'll see. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on Cheesehead TV. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. And hey, like I said at the top of the stream, there is the Cheesehead TV draft guide. Whoa, look at this. Whoa, what is that? That's right. Draft guide is no longer pre-sale. It is available now at cheeseheadtv.com. Go right to that. On the website, there's a little link that says draft guide. You can get yours now for $12.99. Over 300 pages of Packer-specific draft goodness. I cannot thank everyone enough for supporting the website who have purchased it. If you want to support everything we do beyond a draft guide, you can go to patreon.com/cheeseheadtv. All we ask is $5 a month, and it supports everything we do. And you can hang out with us every Wednesday night in our Patreon happy hour, which we did last night, which is always a ton of fun. Good folks from all over the world tuning in every Wednesday. But if you can't jump on Patreon, I totally get it. But please do hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends, tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we're devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide.